Orbost as a town is a mixture of all sorts of things that are happening. It tends to look a really quiet town, but it's buzzing underneath.
There's just something about the physical environment of this place that's magnificent. A strong, supportive community, and it has been a fabulous place to raise our kids.
It's okay. Good, I like it.
In this area, you've always got people that know you and they're going to look out for you. So if for example, I break down on the side of the road, people are going to stop and they're going to know me and they're going to give me a hand.
Great little community we got here, great environment, good place to bring up the kids.
I love being in Orbost. We have a farm that is probably a little hobby farm, about 12 acres. We run a small gardening business of setting up gardens, pruning roses in their time when they need it, their orchards when they need it. I'm also the president of the Historical Society. I have been on the committee here at the Slab Hut Visitor Information Centre, and I have been on the roster but also running as a gardener of this garden. The Slab Hut was built in 1872. It was on a property outside of the town. The family that owned it at the time, it was falling apart and becoming very dilapidated, and they rang the Historical Society to say, would you like a slab hut? We have volunteers that are running this centre 7 days a week, 9 to 5. You'll find all the op shops have got a man by volunteers, which I think is an incredible thing. So the people are putting clothing and bric-a-brac and whatever else in, but the money is rolled over and it goes back into the community again in some way to help. The Orbost community is a hidden one, I reckon, because until you take the time to start talking to people, you have no idea of their characters, what they're good at or what they're not good at. But when there's a crisis on, or when there's been floods on, or a fire, or someone's died, then everyone comes together.
I'm going to the Orbost Secondary College. It's my last year there. I've lived here in Orbost since I was 5. I'm either going to uni next year in hopefully Sydney, maybe Canberra, or ride something like that around Australia. This bike is my 3rd solar-powered trike thing. I can go about 80 k's in the dark with no sun, and with the panel I've got on the moment, I can get about 40 k's of riding on a day's worth of sun. We've got really spectacular, wonderful bush in the area around us. It's really great to have the opportunity to go and see them without having to travel for hours and hours to get to them. One of the things I do is, for a part-time casual job, I work with my mum Liz, and we take bunches of people up into the bush and do guided cycle trips through remote bits of area so that people can go and see areas that they might not otherwise be able to visit.
I live in Orbost and I've lived here for the last 13 years with my family. My husband and I are both vets, and we moved here and bought a share in a veterinary practice that's in the town. It's a practice that serves large animals and small animals. After a few years, I became involved in a community project organising a cycle tour over 4 days, which attracted a lot of people. Found a niche for myself in cycling. I discovered something I was really passionate about, and that's now evolved into a business that I run full-time, which is Snowy River Cycling. I live somewhere that's got clean air, clean water. There's not an awful lot of people about. It's got some of the most fertile soil in the world, let alone in Australia. I have signs several hundred metres from my front door that point to several different national parks. An hour's drive away from me is a high plateau with rare rainforest that gets snowed on in winter, and half an hour's drive from me I have a wild coast. I have found people in this town passionate and warm, really ready to put their hand in. As a parent of children, it feels really safe and supportive. You know, if one of my kids breaks the traffic laws riding around the roundabout, I hear about it that day.
Me and my wife Debbie bought the hotel 8.5 years ago, and we moved down here from the Central Coast of New South Wales. The old lifestyle of the big cities is over it. Couldn't live in a big town anymore. Smaller, laid-back country lifestyle suits us far better. We don't really want for anything around here. Orbost is ideal. A lot of the smaller towns don't have what we've got here. We're sitting on the doorstep of the Snowy River. Fishing around here is unreal. Great little community we've got here. and it's a good lifestyle. Ronald McDonald House came about via one of the local ladies from here that had spent a lot of time down there with their daughter. So with 2 or 3 other mates of mine that ride motorcycles around here, we got together and come up with the idea of doing a poker run. The first year we raised $5,500. The following year we got a bit of a committee together. We ended up raising $25,000. This year's our 3rd crack at it in March, where we've got a committee together again. Yeah, and just doing something that we enjoy doing.
I've lived here all my life. Born in 1933. They can work the age out for themselves. I started off farming at the age of 14. I worked about. My father died when I was only 14. And I worked about around the Orbost area, and then I started farming on the share basis, and until I got enough money to have my own. So I've farmed ever since. I've been growing maize, potatoes and pumpkins, and got some beef cattle. There's a lot of stuff here been made in Orbost by the local blacksmith, the Aussie Wiener family. There's a lot of our own stuff, scarifiers, horse gear, all old stuff. That there, a pig holder, a hog holder. You put that in the mouth, and that comes over the bridge of the nose, so they can put a ring, a bit of wire in their nose. That's for the big pig, and that's for the little pig. See how the slot goes over the bridge of the nose? Yeah, that's an Orbost. An Orbost relic. Oh, well, this is home to me. I wouldn't like to move away. If I did move, it would be just out of town, but that would have been in the earlier days. I'm far too old for that now.
What does it take to be a local in Orbost? Well, I'm completely unqualified to answer that question because I've only been here for 13 years.
Well, apparently, so I've been told, I'll never be a local. If they were been here 8.5 years, you've actually got to be born in Orbost to be a local. So if you lived here for 30 years, you're still not a local.
We've lived in the area for 25 years now, and we are not considered a local, and I would never consider myself a local unless I'd had the family here before me and the grandfathers and the grandmother, all the relations way back, the early pioneering times.
A local, you'd be born here, but that doesn't worry me. There's some nice people, they come into the town, and as far as I'm concerned, they're locals.
I think to be a local in Orbost, you've got to care about the town. You've got to be open to other people. You've got to show that you are committed to and enjoy the town and enjoy the people that are there. I think that's like every town.